and really just humoring me with what you have in your county and for your fair and all the wonderful things. So welcome to our handshake. We're very glad that you're here. Our National Black MBA Association Virtual Club. We are so excited that we had so many of you who joined us, and we are 100% sure that you are going to enjoy this. So this is who I am. You see how I am. Hello. So you all can read the screen. I've been here for quite a while. I am an instructor, and I really have a heart for students and making sure that you make your dreams come true, and whatever I can do to help that, I am all for that. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a presentation, and really excited that Dr. Jackson is here to present AI, because we know that we are here. AI is here. It's not anything we have to get ready for. If you're not ready for it, you are already too late. So we want to make sure that you have everything that you need. Now, one of the things that we're going to do along the way is we're going to have a couple of prizes. And so how many people do we have in the room right now, Hank? So you're on mute.
Sorry, totally including the panel, we have 19.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So whoever is the first one, and there's no right or wrong answer, but whoever is in the first one to put this in the chat, make sure you give us your email so that we can follow up, so that we can send you a swag bag. So what is your favorite networking tip? So if you could put that in the chat, what is your favorite networking tip? And who's the first person, and what did they say?
We have Penny in the chat. Smile first. Smile first.
And Penny, why smile first? Give us a couple seconds. Tell us why. Tell us why that's important. Can she get off of mute or no?
Everyone should be able to come off mute. Oh, so she put it in the chat. It's the ultimate icebreaker.
All right. Guess your smile says it all. Okay. Well, make sure that we have your email address so that we can get in contact with you. Okay. So we're also going to do a little overview about the partnership, to talk about the partnerships and opportunities and scholarships. And then we're going to, you have to stay to the very end, because we are going to do a survey. And in order to ensure that we are providing you with what you want in these handshakes, it's best to hear from you so that you can tell us. So we're going to do a survey at the very end, only 6 questions, but it's going to be very important to hear your voice. And please know that we want your voice to be heard. So please stay to the very end. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dr. Jackson. She is here, Professor of Business and Product Development, specialist in the School of Business. She teaches undergraduate business students and supports the development of innovative and engaging learning experience. And she has taught students and professionals how to responsibly use AI for career readiness, professional communication, productivity, business strategy, and workplace learning. And she's developed AI-enhanced educational resources and is currently exploring the impact of AI on student learning and performance assessments. And her approach focuses on helping individuals use AI strategically while maintaining critical thinking, professional judgment, authenticity, and I think most important here is what she says is ethical responsibility. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Dr. Jackson, and you can go ahead and share your screen. Do I have to stop sharing mine so that you can share yours?
Yes, you would.
Okay, I'm stopping. So you can go ahead and share yours.
All right, so let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, Sounds great. Okay, so I saw someone in the chat said that, they're a little scared of AI. So I understand. So my goal of here is to make you not be afraid of AI. So thank you so very much, Linda, again, for that very warm welcome and good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Dr. Nina Jackson, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. I am an instructor again in the College of Business, and so over the past year, my work has become heavily focused on the responsible use of AI in education and career development. I actually earned WGU's AI skills certification, and I've had the opportunity to teach students and professionals across the country and even internationally on how to use AI responsibly, ethically, and strategically in both academic and professional settings. Earlier this year, I also had the privilege of speaking at Atlanta AI Week, where I'm based. I'm actually based in Atlanta. So there I shared practical ways that individuals and organizations can leverage AI and how to solve real world challenges using AI. All right. So one thing you'll notice about me is that I don't teach AI as a shortcut. Okay, Theo, I see that you're based in Atlanta. I can sort of see the chat as it's coming, as some of the comments are coming in. So I teach AI as a tool that can help you think better, prepare better, communicate better, and ultimately become more competitive in today's workforce. That's exactly what we're going to focus on today. So by the end of the session, my goal is for every one of you to walk away with practical AI prompts and strategies that you can immediately use to strengthen your resume, prepare for interviews, research employers, and position yourself for your next career opportunity. Now, before we jump into some of the prompts and some of the demonstrations, I want to set the stage. So artificial intelligence is changing the way that people search for jobs. So if you're not aware, recruiters are using AI, companies are using AI, applicant tracking systems are using AI, which you'll hear me refer to as ATS. Interviewers, like people who are interviewing you for roles, are beginning to ask during interviews if you have experience in AI. And I've actually heard this from some of our WGU students. So it only makes sense that candidates here at WGU learn how to use AI responsibly as well. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This is not a session about using AI to do the work for you. It's about using AI to help you become a stronger candidate. So think about it this way. When I say use AI responsibly, I mean AI shouldn't replace your experiences, your voice, or your critical thinking. Instead, it should help you present your experiences more effectively. It should help you prepare more confidently. And it should also help you communicate more professionally. So today I'm going to show you some prompts to strengthen your resume, prepare for interviews, research employers, and stand out in today's competitive job market using ChatGPT. You can also use some of these prompts in Claude or whatever AI assisted tool that you use. But my hope is that by the end of the session, you'll leave with practical tools that you can start using today, whether you're applying for your first internship, your first full-time position, or your next career opportunity. And if you have questions, I would ask that you save them to the end since I'll be doing some demonstrations, but I think that this would be helpful to you all. Now, before we dive in, I do have one question for you. You can either raise your hand if you're able to, or you can place a comment in the chat. I want to know if you've ever used AI to help you land a job. And that could be writing your resume, researching a company, preparing for an interview, or even updating your LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to pause. Okay, so Jessica, I see your hand raised. Okay, awesome. So maybe you have an expert AI person here. Okay, we have a few people who have raised their hand. I have 5 here who have raised their hand. Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, Ashley said she has not. Okay, well, I'm here to teach you. Okay, I barely recently heard of AI. Okay, thanks so much, Ernest, for your honest opinion. Well, I love to hear that we have people here who may be experts and we have people here who are just now hearing about AI or just now learning about AI. So, one of the things that I want you to know is that, I'm here to assist you with learning how to become competitive in today's job market. So, let's start by changing first the way that we think about AI. Okay. So, I do want to address something that we hear all the time. People often ask, is AI going to replace jobs? How many people have heard that conversation or that talk or that connotation or statement mentioned? Let me know if you've heard that. Several people, I'm sure. So let me tell you my answer. So the answer is, in some cases, yes. AI is already changing how work gets done. It's automating repetitive tasks. It's increasing productivity for businesses, and it's changing the skills employers are looking for. But here's the opportunity. Think of AI as your personal career assistant. Who wouldn't want to access a resume writer whenever you need one, a resume reviewer who gives you instant feedback, or an interview coach that lets you practice as many times as you want, a company researcher that can help you understand an organization before you apply? Let's go even further, a marketing mentor that helps you strengthen your personal brand and your LinkedIn profile, a networking coach that can help you prepare thoughtful questions before attending a career fair. So AI can do all of these things and more. The key is that you're still making the decisions. AI is there to help you think, prepare, and communicate more effectively. The more intentionally you use it, the more confident and competitive you'll be in today's job market. Now, before I show you any prompts, I do want to share one simple rule that I follow whenever I use AI. Use AI to improve your work, not replace your work. When I use AI, I use it to learn something new, to challenge my thinking, to verify information, to personalize my content, or to edit what I've already created. What I don't do, and I don't recommend you do this, is copy and paste whatever AI gives you, submit it without reviewing it, become dependent upon it, or assume that it's always right. Think of AI like having a really smart assistant. It can help you brainstorm. It can organize your thoughts, it can review your resume, it can critique your interview responses, and it can even help you prepare for a networking event. But at the end of the day, you're still the decision maker. Your experiences, your judgment, and your voice are what employers want. So AI simply helps you present them more effectively. And one of the first places that AI can help you is with your resume. So before a recruiter ever sees it, there's a good chance that your resume has to go through an applicant tracking system, which I mentioned prior, called ATS. So before we start optimizing the resumes this evening with AI, let's take a quick look at what ATS is and why it matters. Okay. So before we start building a stronger resume with AI, there's one thing that you need to understand. Most companies don't start by having a recruiter read your resume. How many of you, maybe by raising your hands or putting a comment in the chat, has applied for a position and maybe within an hour, 2 hours, you instantly got an email that says, unfortunately, after careful consideration, your application was not selected or you will not be moving forward to the next phase in the interview process? I see a few hands raised. That has happened to all of us. It's happened to me so many times, okay? So let me tell you why. A lot of companies start with technology, and that technology system is called ATS. It is a software that scans your resume before it ever reaches a human. And the reason why I know this is because I worked in DEI prior. So I worked in human resources prior to coming over to WGU, and I learned a lot of this. So what does this ATS technology system do when it's sending you these automated emails? So it is essentially technology that is skimming over your resume, looking for things like keywords, skills, job titles, formatting, and whether your experience aligns with the position. So essentially, it's looking to see if your resume includes some of the same keywords within their job description. That means that you could be highly qualified and still never get an interview if your resume isn't communicating with what the system is looking for. But the good news is that AI can help you optimize your resume before you ever hit the apply button. So now that we know why ATS matters, the next question becomes how to get help with your job application in ChatGPT. All right. So now let's talk about how I actually use ChatGPT when I'm applying for a job. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is asking AI to fix my resume without giving it any context. Instead, I give AI everything it needs to help me first. First, I upload the job description so that it understands exactly what the employer is looking for. Next, I upload my current resume so that it can compare my experience to the position. Now, because we're talking about using AI responsibly, one recommendation that I have is to anonymize your resume first. So that includes you removing your name from your resume, your phone number, your email address, your home address, or any other personal identifying information. So that allows you to get meaningful feedback while protecting your privacy. So if a cover letter is required, I let ChatGPT know. And yes, it is transferable to Gemini. I saw a comment in Copilot. Okay, so that allows you to get meaningful feedback while protecting your privacy, as I mentioned before. And if a cover letter is required, I let ChatGPT know because ChatGPT can create the cover letter for you too. How many times have we applied for jobs that had cover letter requirements and you were thinking, oh my goodness, I just did this a long application and then now I have to do a cover letter. And then you want to customize the cover letter based on the job description, based on the job title. You have to put the institution's information in the header. ChatGPT or any AI assisted tool can do all of that for you. So it makes applying for jobs a lot easier. So finally, I ask it to optimize my resume for that ATS that I was telling you about while keeping my experience accurate and authentic. I have helped several people. Personally, I've done it for myself and people across the globe with this. I've helped people and I've helped them get the jobs that they so desperately want. So the more context that you provide while protecting your personal information, the better the results you'll receive. Now, remember, AI doesn't need to know who you are to help you improve your resume. It only needs to understand your experience and the job that you're applying for. Now, once ChatGPT finishes, my job still isn't over. I'm not done with you, ChatGPT. So I always ask it to return everything in a Word document format so that I can review and edit it myself. Remember, AI is helping me prepare. It's not making decisions for me. So from there, I can continue using AI to improve my LinkedIn profile. I can prepare thank you emails. I can negotiate salary offers, and I can even write professional networking messages. So you want to think of AI as your career assistant throughout the entire job search process, not just while writing your resume. All right, so now we're going to go into a quick little demo. Let's practice putting everything that we talked about into practice. One of the most common questions I get is what prompt should I actually use? Now, prompting is key. You have to know what to ask ChatGPT. And guess what? If you don't know what to ask it to tell you what to ask it. I know that sounds crazy, but you can do that, all right? So that's one of the most common questions that I get. Yeah, I know that's funny. So here's one of my favorites because it's simple, it's practical, and it's effective. Instead of asking ChatGPT to fix my resume, I assign it a role. In this case, I tell it to act as a Fortune 500 recruiter. That changes the perspective it takes when reviewing my resume. Then I ask it to identify my 3 biggest weaknesses. I ask it to rewrite my accomplishment statements using measurable goals and create a stronger version of my resume. Remember, AI isn't creating experience that I don't have. It's helping me present my experience more effectively. Now, I want to show you what happened when I uploaded my resume into ChatGPT from using this simple prompt. Okay, so I'm going to press play. I've pre-recorded this. And what you'll see me do here is you'll see the prompt. You'll see the prompt. And then you can click the plus sign. You can click add photos and files. You'll see the anonymized sample resume that I have there highlighted right here at the top. You'll see that there. And what I'll then do is I will click the arrow, which sends the prompt to ChatGPT. And within seconds, it evaluated the resume the same way a recruiter might. It provided an overall assessment. It identified the 3 biggest areas for improvement. And most importantly, it explained why these changes mattered. As I scrolled, notice that it isn't just rewriting content, it's giving coaching and feedback. For example, it pointed out that many of the bullet points describe responsibilities instead of accomplishments. That's a common mistake. Recruiters want to know not just what you did, but the impact that you made. It also recommended incorporating measurable results whenever possible, because numbers help tell your story and demonstrate value. Another thing I really appreciate is that it suggested changes to strengthen the professional summary, and it highlighted skills that are currently in demand, such as AI, digital transformation, and product development. It even provided sample accomplishment statements and a suggested resume format to help position the candidate more competitively. So the entire review took, less than a minute? And instead of paying someone hundreds of dollars for a resume review, I now have detailed feedback that I can review, personalize, and decide what I want to incorporate. Now, remember, again, AI isn't making these decisions for me. It's acting as my career coach, giving me ideas and feedback that I can evaluate before submitting my application. Okay, one of the easiest ways to stand out in an interview is to show that you've done your homework. You have to show that you've done your homework. How many of you have went into an interview and one of the first questions that they asked you is, tell me something about this company, or what do you know about this company? What made you choose this company? How many of you have gotten that question in an interview? You can raise your hand, put a comment in the chat. Okay, all right. Well, instead of spending hours researching a company, I asked AI to summarize the organization's mission, culture, leadership, recent news, and industry trends. Then I ask it to generate thoughtful questions that I can ask during the interview. So think about the difference between asking, what does your company do, versus asking a question that's informed by the company's latest initiatives. That's the kind of preparation that recruiters remember. And so basically, I just simply asked it, I just said, I have an interview with Microsoft. Research the company culture, mission, recent news, leadership, industry trends, suggest 5 intelligent questions to ask. And it gave me the mission. It gave me 5 intelligent questions. I put one here, gave me the culture. It gave me the leadership. It gave me recent Microsoft news, because it will literally go and Google it for you. Okay, so you want to do your homework on a company. Okay, and now one of my favorite prompts is using AI as my personal interview coach. I can tell ChatGPT exactly what position I'm applying for, like I told you, and I can ask it to interview me. All right, one question at a time, interview me. After each response, it will then grade my answers. It will tell me what I did well. It will identify areas for improvement, and even it will suggest a stronger response if needed. It's like having an interview coach available whenever you need one. And the best part is you can practice until you feel confident. Okay, and I have a couple more slides, but I think we have a question from Devin. We have a question. Do we have a question?
No question, Dr. Jackson. I raised my hand by mistake.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem, no problem. Okay, so we will continue on. All right. So networking makes a lot of people nervous. And some of you may be going to the conference, some of you may be going to the conference, but AI can help with that too. Before attending a career fair or a networking event, I can ask AI to create a 30-second introduction based on my background and to generate thoughtful questions to ask recruiters. Use that same resume, reattach it, and say, based on my resume, if you want to do it that way. Or you can just say, I'll be attending a career fair. Help me introduce myself in 30 seconds. So instead of worrying about what to say, you into the room prepared, confident, and ready to have meaningful conversations. And one of the prompts that I use the most, this is one of the, actually, this one is one of the prompts that I actually use the most because I feel that it ties everything all together. All right. So if you only remember one prompt from today's session, let it be this one. I often ask AI to act as my executive career coach. I don't want it to simply agree with me. I want it to challenge my thinking, point out blind spots, provide constructive feedback, and help me become the strongest candidate possible. The quality of the feedback you receive depends on the instructions you give. The more intentional your prompts, the more valuable the response. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few final career tips. Now, again, I told you that I am a former DEI executive where I worked as head of DEI for a community college. And I also was a part of the interview committee. So I could give you lots of insight on some of the things that I witnessed and heard. But here are a few quick reminders to consider as you continue your job search. First, recruiters will often look at your online presence. Yes, that's your Facebook, that's your Instagram, that's your TikTok. I have sat in interview committee meetings where the interviewers had already reviewed the candidate's Facebook profile or page before they came into the interview. So what's my recommendation? Put it on private if you're applying for jobs, or clean it up and make it professional. Okay. Second, if your LinkedIn profile is public, make sure it matches your resume. A lot of people will have something different on their resume than what's on their LinkedIn. And most employers will go to your LinkedIn first, and then they'll go to your Facebook. Just so you know, and some of you may already know this. But those inconsistencies can raise unnecessary questions. Third, demographic questions on applications are optional, and a lot of people don't know that. So it's up to you whether or not you want to answer those questions. And, it's to your discretion. There are some biases there, okay? So understand your options and make the choice that's right for you. And finally, if you're asked to complete an assessment after you apply for any job, don't wait. Complete it quickly because that shows your interest and it can keep your application moving through the hiring process. All right. So I'll leave you with one final thought. So if you were to ask me, AI is not going away. I'm so sorry. If you feel that it would go away. But I don't think it is. It's becoming a part of how we learn, how we work, how we communicate, and how we build our careers. The question isn't whether AI will impact your future. The question is how you'll choose to use it. My hope is that today's session has shown you that AI isn't about replacing your talent. It's about helping you showcase it more effectively. Again, thank you for your time, and I hope you'll leave today feeling more confident about using AI as a tool to support your career journey. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely fabulous. So thank you so much. If anybody has a question, please, please, please come off of mute or put something in the chat. Please, this is your opportunity. You have an expert that's here and is willing to share information with you. So take the opportunity to ask any question that you would like.
Any questions?
Dr. Jackson, I just want to first of all say kudos, amazing job. Thank you so much for this just complete wealth of information that you bestowed upon us. I was trying to defer to the attendees to ask a question, but since no one said anything, I'll go ahead and just kind of get my little shameful question in here. So I have zero social media. I haven't had any social media for over 6 years. I deleted everything. I just don't have the time. So how does that impact individuals when if and when I do apply for positions? How does that impact to have zero social media? What are employers thinking when they see someone in this day and age that has zero social media? What do you think they're thinking?
I think it works to your advantage, actually. I think it works to your advantage. And even though there are people that have social media profiles that are public, and you can click on someone's profile picture and you can swipe from photo to photo, I just recommend that those pictures that are accessible to the public are professional photos, especially if you are in the business of applying for jobs. I mean, it could just be if you're like, I need to lock it down for about 2 to 3 months, that may be something that I would recommend that you do. But I don't see any negative connotation that could be attached to that, Ashley, unless you're maybe applying for a position that requires that you have some sort of social media experience or presence. But even then, I can't see how that would hinder you. But I would say a lot of, sitting in on a few interview committees, there were interviewers who had already made up their minds, even though the person came in the interview and they absolutely smashed the interview. But based on what they saw on their social media profile, the interviews committee, their mind was already made up. So and I know there's major biases there. It's not fair, right? But first impressions are lasting impressions. And for employers, if they don't know you, they try to get to know you through your social media. And a lot of us have alter egos on our social media pages. It may not even be who we really are. So, but if you're applying, I do recommend a professional headshot. If you need to make it private, do that. You don't want to miss out on any opportunity of being the best candidate for the job.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
It looks like we have a question in the chat from Ernest.
Okay.
He said, wow, amazing presentation. The only question I have is whether WGU will offer an AI class in the business courses. And I'm not sure if you know that or not.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so WGU is actually currently offering several, I wouldn't necessarily say courses, but offering several AI certification programs right now. There are several that were recently just released, like there's a K through 12, there's a K through 12 in AI, there's an AI skills fundamentals, which is the one that I completed. But if you're particularly asking about the courses, I'm not quite sure if there will be any that will be a part of like your current degree programs, but there will be some AI degree programs that we are currently working on. Now, whether that looks like master's or bachelor's, I'm not quite sure, but we are working on developing an AI curriculum.
I'll jump in as well. I put the link to our AI strategy for business certificate that is available to students right now. And as far as in the future incorporating AI specific courses into degree programs, that is definitely on the list. We continuously update our programs. And I do know that for the specifically for the business management program, that AI courses are coming probably in the next 6 months or so. So keep your eyes peeled for those updates for current programs.
And I see that Lucy has a question, and I think that's a really great question. She asked, how do we get feedback during the interview process to gauge how we did? So that's a challenge because you don't always know how well you've done or how you've performed during an interview. But I do recommend reaching out to that employer, the person who interviewed you after an interview, just with a simple thank you, and then also continuing to acknowledge your interest in that position. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get feedback, but however, that does allow you to go that extra mile and that extra step to show that you're interested in that position.
Dr. Jackson, I have one question now.
Yeah.
With regards to the prompts, I know that you said that if you're not quite sure what you want to ask AI for, you can ask it to help you with ideas. What do you find are some common questions to ask to help you to figure that out?
Sure. So there is a feature in ChatGPT where you can actually just talk to it. You can literally just talk to it and it will talk back to you. And sometimes I do that. But some of the questions that I would just recommend is just saying, talk to it like you're talking to a best friend. A lot of people don't even know you can have misspelled words and it still can make out what you're trying to say. So I like to tell people, talk to it like you're talking to a friend. You're not going to mess anything up. Like, you're not going to break the machine. You're not going to break the system, right? So you would just talk to it and you would just say, if you're new and you're just starting, you can just say, hi, I really need help landing this job. And, here's the job description. If you don't know how to upload anything, copy and paste it from Google, from the website, from the job site. Copy and paste it. Like, here's the job description. I'm really trying to land this job. Here's my resume. Please help me. Like, help my resume be in the top, 5 or top 2 resumes, so that I can get a call back. So you just want to talk to it just like you would talk to a friend. And even if you want to say, like, hey, even if you're negotiating a salary and you're just saying, like, listen, I'm nervous about this. I'm not good with this kind of thing. I need help with my speech. I need help with what to say. Like, please help coach me. You want to talk to it like you would talk to a friend. And even though it's not a real person, but and then people say that AI doesn't have emotion. I beg to differ, actually. But you want to talk to it like you're talking to a friend, and you want to tell it exactly what you want, and you want to be very specific in your prompt. You want to be very specific, and sometimes it'll send feedback that you're like, okay, no, that's not what I was asking. Well, if it's not what you're asking, you can literally say, ChatGPT, that's not what I was asking you. You could say that's not what I wanted. I wanted this and you said this. You can kind of get a little snazzy with it, actually. And it'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I see what you meant. And then it'll give you kind of what you want. So you want to be very direct and very specific.
Any other questions? I love this. And I love the idea of having the ability to use AI as a personal assistant. I just had not thought of it in that manner, but I think that it really does if you look at it in that way. So Ernest, please don't be scared, because this is where we are. It's not the future anymore. It's just where we are now. And the only thing that we want to make sure that you do is to be very comfortable with it and be able to take the information. Okay, you have a hand that's raised right now. And Devin, because I'm going to switch through all these very quickly. So if you don't mind putting the link in how they can become a member, and I'm going to switch on so we can get to the survey. Is that okay? Thank you. Go ahead. Someone had a question and had their hand raised.
Tawana. I think they put their hand down.
Yes, please don't be shy. This is like the safest place.
Yeah.
And I think, so did you see Dr. Jackson? Ernest had a question, a couple questions in the chat.
Okay, Ernest. All right. So I do see.
He wanted to know
Okay,
if it was
is AI
easy.
easy to use? Yes, it's very user friendly. It is so user friendly. One of the easiest forms of communication I think I've ever had with any. I can't say it's a person, but it's one of the easiest forms of communication that I've had. And you have to just practice. You have to practice. You have to play around with it. You have to train it. And the more you use it, the easier it will become. You just have to jump in there and you have to try. You just want to try, you want to get started.
Very good. All right. Any other questions? So I have one more question for everybody. Penny, I'm going to ask you not to be the first to answer since you're already getting the swag bag. But if you could name one benefit of attending the handshakes. This is what we had today, a handshake. So just give me one benefit of attending these handshakes. First one to put something in, make sure that we get your email address.
So Linda, it looks like we have Lucy put information as one of the benefits of attending our meetings, so which is great. It definitely is a great opportunity for you to learn, get some information about the club. Also, with having great speakers like Dr. Jackson here, get a chance to kind of hear about different things that'll help you in your career. We have Brittany. She said learning new skills. So just like today, great opportunity to learn about AI and how to plug in, especially when you're looking to spring for your career or your opportunities to find those career opportunities. AI definitely can come into play when you are looking for those. So great, great. So we have Lucy.
All right, Lucy, make sure you put your email address in there. So at this point, we want to make sure we have your voice heard. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Hank, so that we can get the Slido working. So should I stop sharing my screen for that to happen?
No, you can keep that up. So we have a few questions we would like to ask just in regards to our meetings and how we are going to continue to bring you information or opportunities with having these quarterly meetings, and we want to make sure they're beneficial to you. So we do have a couple questions. If you're able to look in the chat, you're able to answer each question. We'll give you about a minute or two. They are multiple choice, so you do not have to think about these questions, but just to kind of for us to be able to gauge what we can provide as far as moving forward with these sessions. So our first question, I am going to put it in the chat. And that question is, what career or professional development topic would you like to see featured in future WGU virtual National Black MBA Association handshake meetings? So is that interview preparation and career readiness, networking skills and personal branding, leadership and development, career advancement, resume, LinkedIn, and professional presence, or AI, entrepreneur, and emerging career skills? So you can definitely click on the links, and I see we have some votes going in. Great.
And you time it such that make sure that they have plenty of time so we can get all of them in.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you about another minute. And like I said, you have the option to choose two. Looks like we have right now leadership development and career advancements, and also AI and entrepreneurship and emerging career skills are tied right now. So, oh, you can't see the link. Let me see. You should be able to see that into the chat right now. Right. Well, we will go ahead and close this question up, and then we will jump to the next one. So I do have everyone's answers recorded. Thank you for that. Let's see here. All right. So our next question we have, what type of virtual meetings or activities would be most valuable to you? So what if we had our next meeting, and I think that is scheduled for November. What would you like to see at our next meeting? Is that employer spotlights and recruiters Q&A? So having recruiters or an employer come speak to our club, have another guest speaker, maybe one of our great WGU professors, industry experts. We have opportunity to have alumni come in, speak, have a panel talking about their stories and sharing some of their success, networking sessions, and professional connections, and also interactive workshops. So these are just some of the things that we think that may be beneficial, but if you would like to go ahead and answer those, you'll have the opportunity to do so as well. And I'll give you about a minute to answer that.
And the person who had said that they did not see the link, you may want to hit that chat again, because I hit my chat and it popped up. So I don't know if, hopefully you have an opportunity to see that link now. I think it's Tijuana, I think.
And unfortunately, I can't see it on my end right now, if any changes are there.
No, I see that we're getting a lot of information. I love that. I love that people are putting information in.
And I'm a big fan of like having guest speakers, and especially alumni speak about their careers. That's a great way, just for me being in career development, just hearing some of the stories about people and how they have went through their careers as a professional and develop and help others along the way. So, all right, give us about 10 more seconds to answer, and then we will move on. Right. All right. So our next question we have: what industry, companies, or career paths are you most interested in learning more about? Is that healthcare and healthcare administration? Is it the tech industry with artificial intelligence, finance, consulting, and business strategy, leadership, management, and entrepreneurship, or just connecting with Fortune 500 companies and career advancement opportunities? I think we need some Jeopardy music next time. Quietness here. All right. Give you about 10 more seconds to answer that. Looks like we have a strong showing for technology and AI, and also leadership, management, and entrepreneurship. That's that we're getting most of the votes on, which is great. All right, so we are going to lock that in. All right, and next question. All right, so this is in regards to networking and connecting with others. As far as what networking or interactive activities would make you more likely to attend future handshake meetings with us? So is that having speed networking connection activities where we do breakout groups, breakout rooms? Is that small group discussions with breakout rooms? Meeting with recruiters and employer networking opportunities? We have opportunities to play career trivia, games, and prizes. I think I like the prizes, especially if that's a gift card, especially going into the holiday seasons right now. So I'll take a gift card where I can. And our mentorship opportunities. That will give
and I have to say, I'm so very pleased that you all are taking the time to do this, because we want to make sure that this is valuable to you, and we don't know and we don't want to guess. So it's always best to hear from you, and just we're grateful that you're taking the time to do this. So thank you very much.
All right, give it a few more seconds before we go to our final question. All right. Oh, actually.
Two more, right?
Yep, two more. Sorry about that. So, fifth question: if you could design the perfect WGU virtual handshake meeting, what would it include? Is that more employee participation, industry-specific discussions and insights, professional skill building workshops, alumni connection and mentorship, or interactive networking and engagement activities?
So we probably would play a little smooth jazz, not the Jeopardy, because the Jeopardy theme song would be a little bit too much.
Yeah, I get it. Some smooth jazz. The late
Yeah.
Tuesday evening here in Florida. So we're
Instead of
looking for
wind down
professional skill
Wednesday, would be
building.
Take It Easy Tuesday.
Take it. All right, I'm put that in my notes. Take it easy Tuesday. For next week.
I'm thinking Taco Tuesday right now. I don't know why.
We're bringing it all together here.
Yeah.
All right. And all right, so I'll give it about a few more seconds and then we'll move on to the final question. Right. And last question. Last question, and this is a question that we are really interested to learn, just to kind of launch out. If we had a WGU virtual club meet and greet that were held 25 miles away from your home city, would you attend that meeting? Are you not sure, or that'll be a no for you? And there's no wrong answers to this. We just want to see if we're able to host some events that are not virtual. And if we have some members or potential members that would love to join, we can definitely see what we could do as far as hosting a on-premise session somewhere or a meetup. All right, great. All right, so we have 80% of the groups that they would definitely attend, and about 20% said not sure, and we had nobody that said they would not join. So I think that's awesome. We can kind of organize and come together and coordinate something where we can all meet in person. That would be awesome. So I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and I think I seen someone else that was in Jacksonville. So we're already connected to the city. I could come from the west side and meet you in the north side, but we'll figure that out. Love it.
Yeah, I think somebody
Right,
said
then.
Atlanta, so we got some Atlanta, and I think I am in Northwest Indiana, so right near Chicago. So listen, we got a lot of places that we can connect. I love that you said that. So so just as we wrap up, and I know we only had a couple of seconds, and so I do appreciate you all taking the time to be here. We're very conscious of your time. We know it's late in the evening for some, but thank you for being here. And I want to thank Dr. Jackson for that awesome presentation that is very, very timely. And I don't think we can get enough of that. So thank you very much for your time and your expertise in sharing that. And we do have, so you have our chair here, that's Devin, and he's on the line here. You see him. And he was in Sage. He was dressed as Sage in that very first slide that we showed that showed the handshake. So be on the lookout when you see it again with a different date. So Tommy is not here, but he's one of the members. I'm Linda, and we have Dr. Tennessee who is in the room, and Dr. Pearson is in the room, and of course, Hank is here, and we have Vincent and Bill and Sharice and Katie and Carl. So those are our advisory committee members. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to email or go to the site. Devin did put in a link to, he put in several links. He put in a link to how to join. And I think he put a link in for the AI business strategies, certifications, and a few other things. So make sure that you're looking in there. And I think that if you needed to do that, Ernest, you know, the email, the NBMBAA at WGU.edu if you have any other questions and like to speak to someone, okay? And we'll be more than happy to help you. So want to make sure that you have that. So we thank you very much for your time, for your patience. You all have a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of your summer. Enjoy that chicken on the stick. Enjoy the fried Oreos, fried green tomatoes, and the funnel cakes with strawberry and powdered sugar, and the corn dogs, and the bucket. And she didn't say a cup, she said a bucket of lemonade. So, so thank you all very much, and you'll have a wonderful evening. Thank you.